I very much agree with you, Pat. Like the Jets should trade up. Like there is no available free agent quarterback right now. We all know the list. Justin Fields ain't it. Like we don't want to go through that. And Cam Ward Sanders, if you believe in one of them, you could trade up to the 2 pick and ensure you're automatically getting one of them, or even the 3 pick if there's an inkling that one of the 2 guys don't go 1 and 2. So
live from the NFL Combine, NFL Draft Analyst for Sleeper NFL, Brett Hoffman. Brett, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, man, I've been in Indianapolis all week. We're at the Westin right now. A lot of players and coaches and execs rolling through. So exciting times in Indy, and I'm trying to catch some latest Jets scoop for sure.
All right, so the big news of the day, at least today, I know you didn't see it because I actually sent it to you, was Cam Ward apparently met with the Jets, and he said that they were missing a few pieces, and he hoped that he could be one of them. You were one of the first people that tweeted out that there is the possibility that the Jets are trying to move up and get him. Now, everybody's kind of reporting on it. Now, it's a big rumor. Do you see them actually going through with this? Like, what is your percentage that they could actually make it work and go up from 7 to 1 and get a quarterback?
I think if they want it, which I'm not sure about, it's theirs for the taking. I don't think the Titans are locked in at 1 at all. I think that if there's ever a 1 pick that's for sale, this is the time to do it. I don't know if this new executive team, obviously we have a new GM, new coach. I don't know if they're looking to, trade a few bit of draft capital for this pick, or whether they believe in Ward and Sanders enough. But I'm just going to be honest with you. It sounds like a lot of people are kind of down on these 2 QBs and saying, next year is the year to really get the QB. I don't know if you're going to have that option next year. You have no idea where the Jets will be picking. You have no idea how the QBs are going to look. So if you're sold on either of these guys and the first pick is available, this is definitely that moment. I have no idea how far the talks have gone, and I will say that I was the first person to report that, and now it's picking up a lot of steam, and there are talks, and we'll see where it goes.
Deep down, like obviously I want them to go up and get their quarterback, but from a realistic standpoint, it's hard for me to see them giving up that much draft capital, especially when they've, given up, or at least Joe Douglas gave up some draft capital for guys like Devontae and guys like Reddick. And honestly, I think teams like maybe the Giants may have more to offer to the Titans in order to move up if they think Cam Ward's the guy. So again, I love it. I would be all for them getting Cam Ward. If they did their evaluation and they think that he's the guy, you go up and get the guy. And that's how I feel about it, because the NFL, you can't do anything in the NFL unless you have a quarterback. I've known that I'm 37. I've known that my entire life, right? So, look, do you think they're more in the market for a free agent quarterback? Do you think they're going to bring in someone, or do you think they're going to stick with Tyrod?
There's no way they're sticking with Tyrod. I think we both know that. It's very interesting what's happening right now. Obviously, the Stafford stuff will change up a little bit too. Let's say Stafford winds up with the Giants or the Raiders. That affects the draft and, the Jets slot or what QBs may be available. So it's going to be, the mock drafts will change completely if there's a trade or if a new QB is taken. So, I very much agree with you, Pat. Like the Jets should trade up. Like there is no available free agent quarterback right now. We all know the list. Justin Fields ain't it. Like we don't want to go through that. And Cam Ward Sanders, if you believe in one of them, you could trade up to the 2 pick and ensure you're automatically getting one of them, or even the 3 pick if there's an inkling that one of the 2 guys don't go 1 and 2. So to me, like this is such a good opportunity for the Jets to actually land the QB, and at a cheaper price probably than what you pay on the open market. And obviously we get a young, hopefully guy that's here for a decade. And I think that both of these guys can be that dude.
What do you feel about what they did with Aaron Rodgers' contract? It seems like they're going to make it a post June 1st cut and split that dead cap out. And to me, that rings like they're going to try and bring in a veteran quarterback, because now they have the money in 2025. There's so much going on. It's hard to keep track of it all. I did not like that. I wish they just cut him today, eat all the dead cap, right? Because then in 2026 you can pay guys like Brees and
Yep.
and Garrett and JJ. So what are your feelings about how they're dealing with the Aaron Rodgers contract situation?
I get two things. A is I'm upset that they let him go in the first place, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
B is did you hear Glenn's comments yesterday on the Jets or 2 days ago? The Jets are a win now team. They're going for
He's
winning
been
this
I
year.
know.
I mean,
I kind of
what
don't
do
like
we
that rhetoric, but
what do
yeah.
we say? Like Pat, like we really don't like. It seems like the Jets are a bit directionless. They don't know if this is go for it now with the current weapons they got, or is it just a reset this in a couple of years. But like let's be real. Like we've been going through the free agent market all for like 2 months, and nobody wants to touch any of these guys.
Mhm.
The Jets haven't really made a serious move at Stafford like the Raiders and the Giants. So they're clearly identifying somebody else, and that somebody else has to be from this draft. Like there's just no other outlets to me to find anything like viable for next season. So I'd be very, very, all in. And I really, really do think that this is the year the Jets make that move. And I'll take either one, Pat.
Yeah. Yeah, if you are claiming that you're trying to win now, your only two real options, or three options really, are Cousins, which
Yep.
I don't think he wants to come here, right? Justin Fields, which is a flyer. You don't have any idea what he is. And are you gonna back up the truck to bring Sam Darnold back? Because I don't think that's happening. So your choice is to either stick at 7, stick with Tyrod, pick in 2026, hope you have a good enough draft pick, or yes, take a quarterback, make the move now. And I think Glenn and Muji they've identified somebody. We just don't know who that is yet.
100% agreed. I
Yeah.
100% agree. I think that they've already identified that somebody, and obviously we'll have to see how that shakes out. But agreed.
So let's hypothetically say they can't move up for whatever reason. They can't make it work, and they're stuck at 7, and the quarterbacks are gone. What do? Do they go Jackson Dart? Do they go defense? Do they wait in the third round to maybe get Howard or McCord? What do you see happening if they are stuck at 7?
I think I would love to get my hands on Tyler Warren. I think that would be my number one pick if I'm not taking a quarterback. I think that
Mm-hmm.
I think the Jets, if knowing the Jets and just being a Jets fan, that they'll probably end up with Mason Graham or like the best available defensive player on
Which
the
is
mock draft.
fine. I'd be okay with
Totally
that.
fine.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Totally fine. By the way,
Yeah.
absolutely fine. I just do think that this is, the Jets have never had a tight end like ever. And
Yeah.
last year we passed on Bowers. I get it. Fashanu is a nice, tackle, and he's going to be there for a while. But Tyler Warren may be the next great tight end. If anyone to watch Penn
Yeah.
State, you just see the guy, he's everywhere. And the Jets have never had a piece like that. So no matter who the quarterback is, we both agree that it's probably going to be a little bit worse than last year than Rodgers. But regardless of who it is, they could use a tight end that's just going to be flying over the field, playing different routes. They lined up Tyler Warren in the backfield. They lined up in the slot. The kid's just in everything type, and we could use an
Right.
everything type.
So then what do they do in the later rounds? You think they try for a quarterback? You think they try for Howard? Or I think Matt Miller from ESPN, I think he's from ESPN, was pushing Howard to the Jets like in the third round. Because if that's the case, and either Howard or McCord are there, take them. Why not? You don't have
I
anybody.
agree. No,
Yeah.
I agree. And you're hearing all. By the way, if the hotel volume is too loud, I could step
No,
in a
you're
different
good.
area.
You're good.
But no, I'm with you completely. I don't see Jackson Dart really lasting that long. I think that he'll be a first round pick in the end. There's such a rush on quarterbacks. And, if you look at the back end of round one, like Seattle may be a spot. There's a couple, Pittsburgh could be a spot. So there's too many QB needy teams for me to think that Dart will be available. I'm also a little bit worried about the fact that, he grew up in the same literally town and high school as Zach Wilson. And like, I don't want to be that guy, but I don't know if we want another like pretty boy Utah kid. I don't know if it's going to work out here. So that profile is a little scary, but that shouldn't judge everything. He's a different quarterback, and I watch a lot of Ole Miss. It's not really a pro style offense. Obviously, there's a little bit of development going on here, but a lot of potential there, and absolutely there should be a mid round pick. And let's not and Pat, let's not sleep on JT Jordan Travis.
I mean, we have no idea.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
We have no idea. But what we do know is that he was a stud when he was healthy. And we also know that we know nothing. So he
Right.
was that mid-round pick that I loved last year. I was obsessed with the JT pick. Thought that was a great value, and I'd hope to see him like be a part of this mix. I don't want to just forget him at all. He's probably just
Right.
as
So
good as Will Atwood or the mid-round guys this year.
yeah, yeah. I think it's going to end up being Tyrod starting for at least the beginning part of the season, and then whoever they pick, even if they go up and somehow everything falls in line and they are somehow able to get Cam Ward or Sanders, which I'm okay if they get Sanders too.
Yeah.
He'll sit behind Tyrod for a few games or maybe half the season, and I'm fine with that. I think Aaron Glenn is more of a culture builder type of guy than say Robert Saleh ever was. And you can't just throw in a rookie quarterback. We've seen it. Throw in a rookie quarterback and expect a culture to grow around that quarterback organically when they haven't done anything. They just,
A
the only
hundred
people that's
percent.
really worked out with is Jaden Daniels, right?
Bo
You can go
Nix.
back and Bo Nix and maybe Andrew Luck going back.
Oh,
That's it.
100%. 100, but we also don't have Sean Payton and Cliff Kingsbury working with these guys.
Right.
So,
Right.
which is 95, which is a huge part of the development in making these guys legit is the fact that they have tremendous coaching, and we have a ton of question marks, and we don't even know. I don't even know what our offensive coordinator looks like. I don't even know where our QB coach is. Like, obviously, we have a ton of new staff. So,
Mm-hmm.
not just drafting these guys, but when you draft them, obviously we've seen poor development with Darnold. We've seen it with Wilson. We need to develop a guy. You can't just draft him and hope. You've got to have the infrastructure in place. And hopefully that, if we do make that move, we do have, we're not just banking on this rookie QB to take us, because Jaden Daniels is not an example for everyone. That's one time, and most
Yeah.
rookie QBs will never be Jaden. Not
Yep.
to say Cam Ward can't be. I really think Cam Ward could be a stud. So just think it's a lot to ask for.
Okay, just going back a little bit. You like Aaron Glenn? Did you like the hire? Did you want them to go offense? What you're thinking?
I was very upset at the hire. I
Okay.
really wanted to go offense. Wanted Liam Cohen. I also didn't understand why we wouldn't give Pete Carroll a look. And that's not an offensive guy. That's more of a culture type.
Yeah.
I just, it seemed to be like a little bit of a cliche hire. Like, why did we hire the 33rd group to like show us thousands of different candidates if we're going to hire, probably the most classic, most popular name, like the New York Post type name, very media hire. Didn't really seem any, no cutting edge to it. He was the third best, Lions staff member last year. Campbell was the main guy. Ben Johnson's a stud. Their defense literally was good for 1 year. I'm not sure about this hire at all. I don't care that he was a Jet in the past as much as others. I don't think that really
Okay.
translates to much. And I got my concerns, and I'm hopeful I'm wrong. As I told Mike Tannenbaum last night, I told him, I saw him in the lobby. Literally, I'm like, Mike, I respect you. Don't love the move. Hopefully, you're right and I'm wrong. He said, thanks. Go Jets.
Yeah.
So that's all I can hope.
Yeah. I wanted Vrabel, and
Right.
then the offensive guys came after that. But once they got rid of Mayo, you
Yeah.
knew
Yeah.
you knew they were gonna hire Vrabel. So
100%.
I like everything that so far. I like most of everything that Aaron Glenn has said at the podium. We've only seen him at the podium twice. He seems like a guy to me that gets it. I think there's a big difference between coaches that have played the game and coaches that have not played the game.
For sure.
If you haven't played the game, like Robert Saleh, you better have that scheme perfect,
Yep.
right? If you have played the game, you can kind of navigate locker rooms, I think, a little better. You can communicate, you can connect with guys better. And that's what I hope happens with Aaron Glenn. He doesn't seem like the big rah-rah guy like Rex Ryan was. But to me, so far, in the 2 times we've seen him on TV, he seems very confident in himself. And it's nice to actually see that in a coach. But we'll see how he ends up being.
You're 100% right. Well said.
Yeah, clearly he's running the show, right? I think Muji, fine, guy. I'm sure he knows his stuff, but I think it's pretty clear this is the Aaron Glenn show.
I agree, and we have no idea who this GM is, and if he has any idea to evaluate talent, and we're about to see. And that's the risk in hiring any GM. You have no idea who is really doing the drafting and the sourcing over in that team. So hopefully he is that guy. And he seems like a quieter type and a shy guy, but I haven't really seen him around here.
Here's
Not
the
that that means
worry I
anything.
have. Yeah, here's the worry I have with the GM and them hiring them kind of late. I would have rather Dimitrov right in the beginning, to be honest with you. But um, when you hire a GM kind of after the coach and kind of late in the process, they don't really have a lot of time to get acclimated, I think, with the staff and the scouting department as a whole. And they don't have a lot of time to really kind of put their guys in and probably put their thumb on that scouting department. I really worry that the board we're going to end up with, or the board that they're going to end up with, is going to be a Joe Douglas board for the most part, just because it's a lot of his guys still there. Yes, they got rid of a few people, but I'm not going to judge them solely on this draft outside of if they take the wrong quarterback or the later rounds. The later rounds is where we have struggled forever to build a team.
100%.
So
100%. And
yeah,
and you can't judge him on one draft. We got to give him a couple of years.
all right. So again, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate the 15 minutes here. Get back to doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
reporting from the combine. This was really cool. What are you doing for the rest of the day?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, but I'm actually gonna head over to the cornerback workouts right now, and maybe not right now. It's a little early, but I'm gonna go to Lucas Oil Stadium. It's free, access, just to give everyone an idea. Like, to go to the combine, no charge. You just get the NFL One Pass app and you walk in. I'm gonna go watch some secondary, and I'm gonna come back to the hotel and try to find some coaches or some players to talk to. Maybe see who they're meeting with and catch some news.
Awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Everybody watching, like and subscribe. I'm going to have Brett's Twitter handle, X handle, whatever they call it now, in the description of the video so you can go give him a follow. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.